All throughout Scottish folklore, you can find tales and legends of the faerie music. The Sidhe were thought to be amongst the greatest and most talented of musicians, constructing songs and reels to maintain the fae revelries and the celebratory dances. It was often told that men stumbling upon the faerie knoll would be so enamoured by the beautiful music that they may be tempted to enter the Sidhe realm and dance with those from the other side. But this would undoubtedly end with some mischief or punishment being handed out to the foolish mortal. For the most part, the music of the fae was theirs and theirs alone. But once in every few hundred years, a being from that world would share their immense musical talent with a mortal. And that is how we come by our tale. And at the centre of it, a young man by the name of Crimmon. Now at the time of our story, the piping family of the Crimmons were no better and of no more note than many of the other Highland pipers. So let me tell you how that family shot to fame, and how the youngest son of a Crimmon became the king of all pipers. The boy known as the Black Lad of the Crimmons was the youngest of 3 sons, and the least of note according to their father. When the head of the family would take down his prized bagpipes, which he called the Black Gate, he himself would have the first tune, before handing it to his firstborn. The eldest son would then play the second tune, and hand the Black Gate to his brother, the second son. Now he would play the third tune, but when he had finished, he did not pass it to the youngest son. Instead, he returned the bagpipes to his father. Each and every day this would happen, and each and every day the poor lad would be passed over, never receiving the honour of a single blast into the great pipes. Now not only would the lad be ignored in this family ritual, but he was always lowest in the pecking order, and would be given all the jobs and chores that no one else wanted to do. For many years, the young lad existed in this slave-like lifestyle, and for many years he longed to play the pipes and hear their beautiful music. Then on one day, his father and 2 elder brothers left the castle to attend a local festival. Of course, the black lad was left at home, and was told to busy himself with chores. But that is not what the boy chose to do. Instead, he crept into the great hall and lifted the Black Gate pipes. He began blowing with all his might, and a horrible drone was released. But the boy did not care about the din. He was just overjoyed to finally play the great pipes. Yet it was then that he beheld a strange figure that seemed to be watching him keenly. A tall and undescribably beautiful woman, in a long flowing green dress. The regal air and the porcelain features told the boy that this woman was Doine Sidhe, a fairy maiden, the likes of which he had only ever heard of in tales and legends. "You are busy discoursing music," called the ethereal beauty. "I am," replied the boy, somewhat lost. "Tell me," said the woman, "would you prefer skill without success, or success without skill?" The boy told the enchanting woman how it was always his dream to play the pipes, and he would much rather have the skill to play beautiful music than the success of a great musician. Upon hearing the boy's answer, the woman pulled a golden hair from her head, and told him to wrap it around the reed of the chanter. He was then to place his fingers on the holes of the chanter, and she would lay hers atop his. "When I lift a finger," said the mysterious woman, "you shall lift yours. Now think of any tune that pleases you, and play it with me." Now the boy did just as the Sidhe had told him, and to his great surprise, he skillfully played the most wonderful of songs. When the astonished boy had finished, the Sidhe maid told him that he was now king of all pipers. "There was never an equal before you, and never shall there be one after you are gone." With this said, the enchanting woman departed to her own world. The second she was gone, the boy once more picked up the black gate and began to play his heart out. There was not a tune, song, or pibroch that the black lad of Crimmon could not play with ease. Now it was at this time that his father and brothers were returning from the festival, and as they approached the castle, they heard the most wonderful of music being played in the pipes. "Well, I would know those pipes anywhere," called the father to his sons. "That is the sound of the black gate." They all rushed to the house, but as they arrived the music stopped, and when they searched the house they could find no other than the young lad hard at work. As night came upon the Crimmon family, they all gathered in the hall as normal, and the father lifted the black gate down from its stand, and played upon it the first tune. He then handed the pipes to his eldest son, who played upon it the second tune, before handing the black gate to his brother, the second born, who would play a third tune, before once more returning the pipes to his father. But on this night, the father then offered the pipes to the black lad. "I'm not worthy of this honour, father," said the boy, "and I am content with my life and my chores." "Take the pipes, my son," said the man. "No longer will you be confined to your work." The young lad took up the great pipes and played the finest music that anyone has ever heard. On its completion, the father with tear-filled eyes called to his son, "The music has left us. None of us could ever more dare to enter the wake of such beautiful sounds and such magnificent talent." And the father spoke the truth, for the like of the black lad was never seen again, either in his own time or since. The blessing of the Sidhe also held true, as no one has ever been more skilled a pipe player than the black lad, but his true name will never be known, and he will never receive the fame his talent deserves. It is believed by many that some of this magical talent still flows through his offspring, and for many generations the family of Crimmon have been, and still are, known as the greatest pipers in all Scotland. Thank you for listening, and a special thank you to my wonderful patrons for helping me keep these tales alive. I find this to be such a wonderful tale, and it shows many of the classic tropes found in Scottish folklore, such as the Fae's mastery of music and their otherworldly talents, the young lad that wins the day, or an explanation of clan or family history, something that used to be incredibly important to the Scottish families and clans. We must take this tale with a grain of salt, however, as it is most often told, and sometimes sung, by the very Crimmons themselves, and many other of the famous piping families would have something to say about their claim as the best pipers in Scotland. Either way, it shows the nature of the old Scottish families, and the pride they had in whichever art they specialised in, handing it down from father to child for many generations over hundreds of years. Now the family of Crimmon served as pipers to the chiefs of Clan MacLeod of Skye for many years, and were known as one of the finest piping families in all Scotland, so much so that at their ancestral home in Borrig, near Dunvegan Castle, the Crimmons conducted one of the most well-known piping colleges. Clan chiefs from all round the Highlands would send men there to learn the art of the pipes from the Crimmons, increasing the family's legendary status. But there is one other in the Crimmon line who was given the title the King of Pipers, and this is Donald Ban Crimmon, who played beside the MacLeod chief during the Jacobite Rebellion of 1745. Now of course the MacLeods originally sided with Bonnie Prince Charlie and the Jacobites, but would soon turn their support to the Hanoverian forces. Yet it is told that the Crimmon piper of the MacLeods was so well respected in every part of Scotland that when he was captured by the Jacobite forces at the Battle of Inverurie, all the Jacobean pipers refused to play a single note until the king of the pipers, Donald Ban Crimmon, was set free. The piper was released and returned to the side of his master, the MacLeod chief. But unfortunately for the King of Pipers, he would eventually fall in battle during the Rout of Moy in 1746. Although it is noted in many texts that Donald Ban MacCrimmon was the only man killed that night, and with the death of the famous piper, panic spread throughout the Hanoverian forces, causing them to flee. So with that all said, I hope you have enjoyed this legend of the King of all Pipers, and how the MacCrimmon family came to fame. And until next time, Sang Java.